Hello everybody, and welcome back to Total Combatives. Today, I'm going to teach you how to make your own pair of nunchucks. Before we begin, there is a list of materials and tools you will need in order to make a pair of nunchucks. The materials you are going to need today will be a long cylindrical piece of wood that is at least 1 inch to 1 1/8 inches in diameter and at least 2 feet long per nunchuck. The second material you are going to need is string, twine, paracord, or even chain to fasten the 2 handles of your nunchucks together. Today I will be using paracord. Then, to give your nunchucks that finished look and final touch, you may need paint, stain, or even gloss to give it that nice, pristine, professional look. You're going to need some tools to help you out today as well. First and foremost, you'll want a trusty tape measure and a pencil to back that up. Then you're either going to need a handheld drill or a drill press. I will be using a handheld drill today. You are going to need 3 different size drill bits. For a pilot bit, you are going to need a 3/16 or smaller to act as a guide for the larger bits. Then you will also need a 5/16 and a 3/8 size bit. You will also need a saw, either a handheld saw or a miter saw, to cut your wood. If you are too young to use that equipment, make sure you get an adult's assistance. Then last but certainly not least, you will need some sort of sanding device, whether that's a piece of scrap sandpaper or a power sander. So let's begin by measuring out the handles. And now, it's time to make our cuts. Now we need to mark where we are going to drill the holes into the sides of our nunchucks. That way we can string our nunchucks together. So go ahead and pick the end you want to drill into on each side of your nunchucks. Once you've found the end you want to use, go ahead and from each end make a mark at 1 1/4 inches and 2 1/4 inches. So 1 1/4 inches and 2 1/4 inches. Once you've made that mark, you can go ahead and use that as a guide for your other pair of nunchucks. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you want it to be an approximate. At least look good to the eyes. Now we're ready for drilling. Okay, so it's time to drill the holes. I've got my nunchuck handle in a vise, that way it keeps it steady and I can drill straight. And I have all 3 bits with me. We're going to start with our pilot bit, which is the smallest of the 3. And we'll start with the holes that run through the sides of the nunchucks. So try to drill it as straight as possible. And now we're going to want to finish those out with the 5/16 size drill bit. Now we'll go back to the pilot bit, and we are going to drill in the center of the handle. This one can be tricky. You want to try to get it as straight as possible, so try to eye the exact middle and do a test run check it, see if you need to adjust it. If you do, you can angle the bit a little bit. And once you think you have it, go ahead and go with it, trying to keep it as straight in line with the nunchuck handle as possible. You're going to continue until you feel it give through and meet up with this first hole. After you've done that, we're going to finish it out with a 3/8 size bit. Now we need to do the same thing with the other handle. Okay, so now that our handles have been cut to length and the holes have been drilled, we're going to go ahead and sand them down really well. That'll keep you both from getting stickers while you're swinging them around, and also take off the sharp edges where they've been cut, because if you get hit with that, that is going to cut you open. So you're going to want to take and sand down the entire length of it. Make sure you get those holes nice. And then you'll also want to take off those edges. And so now we're going to sand it down. Oh yeah, and one more thing. The paracord is going to be laced through these side holes here. And if you would like, you can try to sand a groove for that paracord to sit through. If you don't, it will be raised a little bit like it is right there. I like to sand grooves down into that. That way it feels nice and flush. But either way, it's up to you. Okay, now that they've all been sanded down, now you're going to make them look like you want them to look like. So you have your nunchuck handles. They've been sanded down, they've been cut, the holes have been drilled. Now it is time to give them an artistic flair. You can either paint them, you can stain them, you can leave them the way they are. Stain is always probably one of the best options. Paint would work too. I'm going to do something a little bit different though. Not very many of you are going to follow suit, but I am actually going to char mine. So, here we go. Okay, I have mine looking the way I want them to look. So yeah, if you stained yours, you're gonna have to hang yours up somewhere and let them dry overnight before you can seal them. But luckily, nothing dries faster than fire, so I'm ready to go ahead and seal mine, and then I'll hang them up to dry, and I'll finish making this video tomorrow and show you how to string them. Okay, so I went ahead and I coated my handles twice last night and left them to dry, and they came out really nice and smooth. They've got a good shine to them. So we are ready to start the stringing process. You are going to need 2 lengths of string, either paracord, twine, or whatever you can find really, that are 2 foot in length. And we are going to begin by going in the top hole of the nunchuck handle. So after you go in through the top, you're going to be able to see it come in the side. And it helps to have something long, like a screwdriver or stick, to help push that paracord through to the other side. So then you're going to pull it through, and you are going to loop it through the bottom hole, out the other side. And you are going to, and this is the tricky part, go through this hole and try to come out the top hole. And this is one way to string nunchucks. There are many different ways. Everyone has a preferred style of doing it. I'm gonna put it in there and see if I can hook it and pull it through. Takes some patience. It's kind of hard to do it. Sometimes it can be really stubborn, and sometimes it comes really easily. Okay, there we go. So it comes through the top, out one hole, all the way through the nunchucks, through the top, and out again. So then you're going to want to work one of these cords, kind of shorten it a little bit like that, and pull all the slack through. We've got one long length of cord. And you are going to do the exact same thing with the next pair. All the way through to the first hole, push it out, grab the string, go through the next hole, all the way through, and try to come back out again. And again, this is the hardest one. I like to wait until I can see it a little bit and see if I can hook it with something long and kind of scrape it against the side to catch it and drag it all the way through. This isn't necessarily my favorite way to string nunchucks, but for beginners, it's probably the easiest way. So after you do that, you're going to want to adjust this one string to the length you want your nunchucks. And this really is up to you. Some people like it to be 3 fingers in length, so you only have that much string. Other people like it to be about what it is, and still other people like it even longer. I've got a pair of practice nunchucks that I really like the length, and so I'm going to actually match mine to that. And so, to kind of show you how to adjust it a little bit, you're going to just work these strings through to your desired length. Okay, pull it all the way through. Then you're going to need to do a knot here. I prefer just to do a square knot. For those who don't know what that is, I'm going to look at the strings, make them face you. Then you do right over left and around. Pull it kind of tight a little bit. And then you make them look at you again. And left over right. Spin around through the hole. Now I'm going to try to match the two lengths up a little bit. Helps to make the one with the knot what you think is a little too tight, and then rather than pulling it taut, you kind of pull it on it lengthwise, and we'll tighten it up a little bit. So you just got to play with it a little bit. It's not exactly what I'd like it, but it should work. Tighten it up a little bit more. Get rid of that. So again, that's just a little bit on each side of my hand. So probably maybe a ½ an inch longer than my hand is wide. That's great for doing hand rolls and stuff. It's my preferred length. But then again, everybody is different. Everyone's got their own favorite way to do it. Everybody's got their own sense of style. So after you get it where you want it, you're going to need a sharp knife and a lighter. And we'll need to cut the ends and then burn them. I do not have a lighter on me right now. Must have left it inside. So I'm going to do that off camera. You're just going to want to cut it tight, burn up the end, and then maybe use the tip of the lighter to kind of smash it down. Fuse it together, that way it won't come undone. So I went ahead and I cut off the extra and I burned it up and kind of fused it together a little bit. So now I've got my knot. Now the very last step is shifting the rope so that you pull the knot into one of the holes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go for this one over here. So just start drawing that knot in. I like to wait until I get it pulled right to the mouth of the opening and then kind of work that string through that I pulled and out the other side and kind of even it out a little bit more. And then once I have it like that, I like to adjust it one more time and suck that knot into the hole. Just kind of go, you can pull it as deep as you want it. I like to try to get it pretty deep in there. So now the knot is about right there inside that hole. I'm going to just kind of work the string around a little bit, work it through. Okay, so I got the knot where I want it. Now the string in the middle is a little messed up, so what I like to do, I like to kind of pull it fairly even like that all the way through, and then loop it on the other side, kind of even out these loops, and then I just simply pull them. Give them a little yank. Maybe adjust it, just kind of get it looking the way you want it. You can now see why I liked to make those grooves, because when it's tight, and it will kind of tighten itself out a little bit. It helps it disappear. If I didn't make those grooves, I'd be sticking up like that. So those grooves really help that, especially when you go to grab it. You can barely feel them. So anyways, that is how you string your nunchucks. Now let's take them outside and swing them around, see how they feel. I like the way they came out. Let me know what you think of my pair, whether you like the wood burned look or not. Some of you are thinking, why did he do that? He ruined the perfectly good wood. I personally like it. Then let me know if you used this video to make your own pair. Let me know how that went, whether you like them. Now, if you made your first pair of nunchucks and you don't really know how to use them, I do have some other videos already. I've got a nunchuck course playlist that I'll link down in the description below. That way you can start learning from absolute beginner to advanced. I teach lots of different things. I'm going to be making more videos soon, so don't get discouraged with the little amount that are there. But yeah, I even have like how to do the hand roll like this, and that way you can start having fun with them and stuff. I mean, what use is a pair of nunchucks if you don't have fun swinging them around? So stay tuned for more videos when it comes to that. Now, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up down below. It'll help other people see this video on YouTube. The more thumbs ups I have, the more people will see it, and the faster my channel will grow. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing down below. That way when I make videos in the future, you'll be notified, and you can officially be one of my YouTube students.